What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. I have a 1 month review for you guys today of the Nike Tiempo Legend 9 made in Montebelluna. I have absolutely beat the hell out of these. I am very excited to share my thoughts. Bottom line is I was very wrong when I initially reviewed these, and I want to explain in this video why. I'm going to start with the sole plate. All right, so we'll toss this one down and let's talk about the sole plate. So the sole plate is the hyper stability sole plate found on the Tiempo Legend 8 and Tiempo Legend 7. It's slightly different than the Tiempo Legend 9 sole plate. It includes a little more kind of aggressive traction. You've got some chevron studs here, some chevron studs and a bladed stud here in the toe area. And I actually found that I enjoyed this sole plate better than the one that's on the Tiempo Legend 9. Both sole plates are really good, but again, it's just a personal preference for me. I tend to prefer something that's a little more aggressive with some of the conical studs in addition. So for me, the sole plate is fantastic. It's held up really well, and to be fair, I've actually played a lot in these, and the chrome plating is holding up pretty well, as you guys can see. So there's a little bit of chrome plating that's come off on the studs here. Hopefully that comes through. There you go. So you can see it kind of right here. Some of that chrome plating has come off, and that's just based on the fact that I play on turf most of the time, and it's not really something that I would worry about from a durability perspective. We'll talk about durability later in the video. So as far as sole plate goes, for me, this sole plate is actually really good. It's got a good amount of snapback for sort of a leather, a little more classic feeling football boot, even though it is quite lightweight. Provides a lot of stability through the midfoot, lots of bite and traction when you're on natural grass pitches and on artificial grass pitches, which is fantastic. And for me, the sole plate is really solid. I would give this sole plate an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's great. I think it works really well, and I think it absolutely accomplishes what you need for most pitches and is suitable for most widths. So 8.5 out of 10 for the sole plate. Let's talk about the heel area. So the heel area is basically the same as the Tiempo Legend 9. The shape is the exact same, and this heel area is really nice. I do like the Tiempo Legend 9 heel area, especially with this added kind of suede leather lining on the inside. It's a thin lining. It fits most foot types, so that's something, if you are somebody who has thinner width heel area or thicker width heel area, I guess you could say, it's going to be suitable for you, right? It's going to be suitable for most foot types. As you can see, it's very neutral, and it really does a good job. See, as you can see, so I can kind of do this depending on how tight the laces go, and it's gonna wrap my foot. And that's something that I think is really beneficial about the Tiempo Legend 9 just in general, is that it does kind of fit most foot types. I know a lot of people who have thinner feet, and I know a lot of people who have wider feet, and Tiempo seems to fit most people. And so a lot of that comes down to the heel area, because heel area is where you get a lot of slippage in boots. And so for me, this heel area is, again, just a solid heel area. It's nothing crazy. You don't get, straight out of the box bite in your heel area in a good way. I don't mean like blistery bite. I mean like good amount of lockdown and bite, like something like an Asics DS Lite X Fly 4, which I absolutely love. And the heel area in those is just like second level. And I think a lot of the Mizuno products are that way as well. This doesn't do that. It takes a little bit of break-in time, but I never had issues with blisters, never had issues with slippage in the heel area as well. To be fair, I do wear grip socks, so full disclosure on that. Most of the time I'm playing, I do wear grip socks. And so at the end of the day, it's kind of what you prefer, but I really think that this is a great heel area. And so for me, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 as well. I think it's really solid. Nothing in the top 5, I would say, top 3, but it is just really solid, and it will fit most foot types. Now let's move on to the upper, and the upper is unbelievable. So if you guys remember in my initial unboxing and first kind of on feet situation, basically what I had said was these are a little bit stiff, a little bit uncomfortable, and you should definitely go and purchase the regular Tiempo Legend 9 Elite as opposed to these. And I was completely wrong. Literally 2 hours into the session, I was kind of, they were hurting my feet right at the beginning, so I'd put them on, then untie them, take them off, put them back on to try and loosen it up. I don't know whether it was just something that happened with the upper where it just clicked, but after like the 2 hour mark or so, it all of a sudden just went boom, and it was super soft, super pliable. I mean, you guys can see There's quite a bit of scuff marks on the inside and on the bottom part of the upper where kind of all the grass pellets and stuff will get on the boot and where you kick the ball basically. And that's just part of the way that this upper has broken in, and it really is a level 2, 3 above the normal Tiempo Legend. I tend to prefer something that's kind of in the middle of not so barefoot like a Vapor, but also not a Tiempo Legend 9 Elite. I know I did speak, I really like the boots, but again, I like something that's a little bit less padded. On the instep, no problem, right? Passing a ball, that's no problem for me. I'm totally happy to have a little bit of extra padding there, but I love on the top of the boot, have they removed the extra padding, and now it's just this amazing Alegria leather that is just basically raw right here, right? It's untreated, it's so soft, it does just an amazing job at breaking in. And I will say, I'm so glad if you guys are making it to this part of the video, because for me, this is the whole reason why 1 month reviews are the best content to watch, especially from somebody like me who is gonna play and beat the hell out of these boots. I know they're limited edition, ooh, maybe they're valuable, I don't care. My goal is to give you guys the best feedback, and I can only say that I was quote unquote wrong if I had actually worn the boots. And I'm so glad I did, because it completely changed my perspective about these. We'll talk about my own personal fit in just a second, but as far as the upper goes, these are buttery soft. This is some of the best quality leather you can buy. It's super pliable, super adaptable to your foot, which I think is excellent. And I really do think it provides one of the most unique and top-end sensations you can find on a football boot, especially one that's made out of all leather. So for me, this is a 9.25 out of 10. It's not my favorite upper, but it is very, very close. If I could get boots that fit the shape of my foot really well, that were this material, I would buy them until the end of time, because this really is an incredible, and in fact, I'm gonna bump it up, 9.5 out of 10 for me. This is one of the best uppers, in my opinion, on the market. You know, again, ooh. Sorry about that, guys. I think that's just a fire, yeah, I think it's a fire drill. But as far as, we're gonna pause, we'll come back in a sec. All right, so what I was saying before, 9.5 out of 10 for this upper. It is absolutely amazing. So very, very well done, Nike. The lace area, let's talk about the lacing system. Lacing system, super straightforward, straight down the middle. These laces are a little bit different than the ones that feature on the regular edition Nike Tiempo Legend 9. They are a little more cotton-based, so it feels a little more kind of like Italian farm-esque. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it really is. They're like a, yeah, they're almost like just a basic cotton lace, which is kind of cool. The inside, this knit material that's in the middle where the collar usually is, or all the tongue usually is, this one piece has been kind of modified to be a little bit softer and a little bit more pliable, which in my opinion is awesome for the boot. It really does justice to the way that this boot is supposed to feel. So it really adds a little bit of extra depth to the lacing system and allows it to stretch, at least in my opinion, a little bit more so than the regular edition, which is kind of a nice touch if you're somebody who has wider feet in certain areas, especially along here in the lateral side. It can be super, super helpful. So that's kind of the whole upper, like the physical side of this boot. Let's talk about durability. So durability has been really, really good. For a boot that's completely untreated leather, I have no separation of the sole plate from the upper. These are really, really well made. I've worn these and beat the hell out of these on turf. On regular grass, I actually wore them up on that pitch about a week and a half ago now. Had a training session on the natural grass here at this local park, and they held up great, and they really have had zero issues. You can only see scuff marks kind of where, right there, kind of where this is my left shoe, so this is where I'm gonna whip in crosses and stuff. That's kind of the only spot where I would say has started to just scuff a little bit, but again, that's just a cosmetic thing. That's not a durability issue. As we spoke about before with the sole plate, chrome finishing wearing off does not mean that the durability is crap on a pair of shoes. It just means that there's paint basically on the bottom of the shoe that chips off. So no score decrease in durability. So far, so good. The only thing, again, it's all cosmetic. You have little points where it looks like somebody's dropped like water and left it. And that just kind of happens with boots that are untreated leather. So you'll get kind of staining, if you will, if you play on an artificial pitch. You'll get grass stains as well if you play on a natural pitch. So again, but these are all cosmetic. Made in Montebelluna boots tend to be incredibly durable. So for me, I'm just going to give this top marks because I think it deserves it. This is a 9.5 out of 10 for durability. Really, really excellent job on Nike's part making these. And obviously the Montebelluna factory is pretty hard to beat. So that's awesome. As far as colorway goes, this is an homage to the classic Nike Tiempo Legend 1 or 2, I believe, that Pirlo wore. These are a really beautiful pair of football boots. You guys know I'm a sucker for the blue. I love the color blue, and I love the shade, this kind of royal blue. When I first got these boots, they had kind of made them look white and blue. The original version of this Tiempo 1 or 2 or whatever it was white, like a pretty stark white color and blue, whereas these came across, because the leather is untreated from Montebelluna, it is a little more grayscale. As you can, hopefully the camera will pick it up and I can get the color correctly in post-production, but this is, it's a lot more of like a blue-gray color than it is a white color, which I actually think looks great on feet. I don't think it looks excellent, but I think it looks pretty good. For me, this colorway is a 7.5 out of 10. So I'll give it basically a 3 out of 4, right? 7.5 out of 10 for me. What other aspects do we want? Let's go over fit and sizing. So the sizing of this boot, despite it being a different sole plate, is the exact same size as the Tiempo Legend 9, the regular edition or the normal edition. So the fit from the length perspective, definitely go true to size. They fit just as if you were to buy a 9 US for me in a normal Tiempo Legend 9. Tiempo Legend 9 Montebelunas, same thing. You're going to get a little bit more stretch, I think, out of these boots than you are out of a regular edition Tiempo Legend 9, but that doesn't have anything to do with the length of the boot. So I would really recommend going true to size to get the kind of the best fit you possibly can out of a boot like this. Now we'll talk about fit and sizing. So the fit for me is one of those things that I'm really bummed about. And I really wanted to keep these shoes and really wanted to wear these all the time. Excuse me, my agent is calling. That's exciting. Here we go. All right, guys, so we're talking about sizing. Thank you for your patience. Really quick update. Things are getting really hot in the market for a left back, which is awesome. I'm very excited. I know that's kind of a weird way to be like, I'm getting a lot of interest from teams, which is super exciting. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Great things. I don't know when this video is going to come out, but if it comes out way later than I anticipate, then I'll probably already have a contract by then, but ideally we're looking pretty good. So, okay, so fit. The one thing that this really broke my heart, because as I was breaking these in, one of the things that this Tiempo Legend 9 does a really good job of is it is pretty wide in this midfoot, but the toe box is really thin. It's really pointy. And for me, I need a boot that's got a little more width in the toe area. And for me, they're a little bit too small in this area right here, and I don't want to go up half a size because it just is going to make the boots kind of sloppy. But I do think it's really important that I get a boot that fits a little bit better from the toe box area and has a little bit more room for my toes to stretch out, because especially with the surgery that I had about 1.5 years ago now with my foot, I really need boots to fit well, and that's why I'm so picky on 1 month reviews with ratings and all that other stuff, because I really do want to find the boots that fit my foot the best. Unfortunately, after testing, I couldn't get these to break in. Like 90%, 95% of the boot was perfect. And then there was a few hot spots that I ran into that I just couldn't get over. And for me, unfortunately, that docks the fit for me down to an 8. But for instance, Michael, who you will probably see in a collab video very soon with these boots, he and I both have a pair. We did a training session when we were matching and all that stuff. So exciting. If you haven't seen that video already, if you have, you guys know what I'm talking about, and he loves them. He swear they are the best fitting boots on the market, blah, 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 all this stuff. So for most people, these are gonna fit amazing. This will be a 10 out of 10, a 9.5 out of 10, whatever your highest rating is. These will be amazing for you. It's just this is totally subjective on my mark. These are an 8 out of 10. They're just not quite what I need them to be in order to be a mainstay in my rotation. So for that reason, I'm sad to say, but I won't be wearing these a whole lot. It's more of test, give you guys my feedback, and then kind of go from there. So as far as overall rating, and we'll kind of rope, oh, let's do performance first. So from a performance standpoint, these are very good. There's a little bit less structure to the upper, so you're really not going to notice it that much unless you're doing a dead sprint to a dead turn to a dead sprint again. So really aggressive pivoting. You're not going to really notice it that much. But I would say for most of the performance, I think it performs better than a regular Tiempo 9, but that's because I'm looking for something that's got a thinner upper here without the extra padding, and it just has such nice, elegant touch on the ball. So for me, performance, 9 out of 10. Really good performance. I love this boot from a performance standpoint. You ping really well, you pass really well, and it gives you a good feeling for all those types of movements, which is great. Overall, Tiempo Legend 9 Montebelluna is a great pair of football boots. If you can get your hands on a pair, I would easily forego all of the kind of issues that I had breaking it in when I first got them out of the box, when I was like, wow, these don't fit as good as I needed them to be. They break in beautifully. They perform well. I love this sole plate. I think it's great for most surfaces. The reduced padding really helps give you a plush but luxurious kind of barefoot type feeling. It's not barefoot, don't get me wrong, but it is very much a lot lighter than a normal Tiempo. So for me, overall rating, this is a 9 out of 10 football boot. I think this is a great pair of football boots for most people. Most people are gonna love these. I really think if you can get your hands on a pair, because they are actually available in most places, I would definitely recommend it. So that's kind of it for the 1 month review of the Tiempo Legend 9 Montebelluna. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. As always, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.